وقال ربكم ادعوني استجب لكم آمين يا الله يا رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Keimanan sikuna idayanku untuk mapiasa ini nangno langit tau tanah aurang tau lagi nang tertulus ni kau sikunati madang hidayanku mepiaka sikunati madang hidayanku mepiaka
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is thy kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, helas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y bumay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa
Awa mo guru.
Good morning, everyone. We are your hosts for today's webinar. I am 𝒂𝒊𝒔𝒊𝒐𝒏
And I am 𝐺𝐸𝐺. Welcome to the second part of our ECE 196.1 webinar series.
with the theme Machine Learning Development, an Introduction to Computer Vision through Mediapipe Python Solutions.
Just like us, I hope you are also excited about learning about this webinar.
We have a saying that says, learn as if you were to live forever. Kaya naman, let's learn together. And by the way, I just want to remind everyone of our name format, which is first name, then middle initial, and last name.
And also, don't forget to download our official virtual background for this webinar. And don't you worry, this is not compulsory, and for those who use an Android version of the Zoom, we know that it is not yet capable of using a virtual background. And for those who uses laptop or PC, we highly encourage you to use the virtual background for our photo op later.
Sign in and sign up forms will be provided on the chat box. And to formally acknowledge your attendance, an attendance code will be flashed on the screen, so don't forget to pay attention.
Before we formally start our webinar, we are reminding everyone of our house rules. First, no spamming, and second, no using of foul words. Most importantly, everyone must enjoy the seminar, and also don't forget to pay attention to our webinar because we might have some surprises ahead. You can also use the virtual background, as I said earlier, to our photo op later.
Have you heard that this webinar didn't just reach our fellow Filipino people, but also internationally?
Yeah, as I've checked, there are some people who registered for this webinar. I hope you will find this webinar helpful, interesting, and exciting.
A big shout out to all of our participants for today's webinar. Hello to you all. And currently, we have 225 participants in this webinar.
I'm pleased to welcome our fellow students and participants from Mindanao State University, General Santos City, and also the students from the different schools all around the Philippines. They willingly participated in this seminar. The schools from Cebu, Manila, Batangas, Laguna, Negros Oriental, Ilocos, and other parts of the country. Welcome, everyone.
And also, we would like to recognize our participants coming from outside of the Philippines. Shout out from our participants from Spain, Morocco, and from Malaysia.
I would
Hello.
also like to welcome the school heads, professional personnel who attended this webinar. Thank you for attending.
And now, to formally start our webinar, may we call on team leader 𝐺𝐸𝐺 for his opening remarks.
To the Dean of the College of Engineering, Dr. Noel S. Gunay, to our ever-energetic Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department Chairperson, Dr. Cristina P. Dadula, to our distinguished participants, guests, students coming from different schools, to my dear friends and classmates of ECE 196.1 webinar series, ladies and gentlemen, good day and magandang Jensen. I am honored and pleased to welcome you to our webinar for today's event, which aims to provide key points on machine learning development, introducing computer vision through Mediapipe Python solutions. Amidst these times of pandemic, through the use of the innovative learning developments, we still reached out to many people. And this has not deterred us to push through such activities like this. I am rooting for each participant in this meeting today that you will find fresh new knowledge and fresh new ideas coming from our fresh speaker. Enjoy the rest of the program, and I hope that everyone will participate. Actually, we are overwhelmed with the number of responses we have received during the pre-registration of this activity. Nonetheless, the most important thing is our collaboration in this great effort. Once again, good day, and God bless us all ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Espiritu, for that opening remark. Pandemic really can stop us from learning new things.
Our topic involves a lot of jargon words. For example, machine learning, Mediapipe, computer vision, and Python. To know more about this topic, here is a short video for all of us. Let's watch this.
Our ability to learn and get better at tasks through experience is part of being human. When we're born, we know almost nothing and can do almost nothing for ourselves. But soon, we're learning and becoming more capable every day. But did you know that computers can do the same? Machine learning brings together statistics and computer science to enable computers to learn how to do a given task without being programmed to do so. Just as your brain uses experience to improve at a task, so can computers. Say you need a computer that can tell the difference between a picture of a dog and a picture of a cat. You could begin by feeding it images and telling it, this one's a dog, that one's a cat. A computer programmed to learn will seek statistical patterns within the data that will enable it to recognise a cat or a dog in the future. It might figure out on its own that cats have shorter noses and that dogs come in a larger variety of sizes, and then represent that information numerically, organising it in space. But, crucially, it's the computer, not the programmer, that identifies those patterns and establishes the algorithm by which future data will be sorted. One example of a simple yet highly effective algorithm is to find the optimal line separating cats from dogs. When the computer sees a new picture, it checks which side of the line it falls on and then says either cat or dog. But of course there can be mistakes. The more data the computer receives, the more finely tuned its algorithm becomes, and the more accurate it can be in its predictions. Machine learning is already widely applied. It's the technology behind facial recognition, text and speech recognition, spam filters on your inbox, online shopping or viewing recommendations, credit card fraud detection, and so much more. At the University of Oxford, machine learning researchers are combining statistics and computer science to build algorithms that can solve more complex problems more efficiently, using less computing power. From medical diagnoses to social media, the potential of machine learning to transform our world is truly mind-blowing.
Quite informative. I hope you have somewhat taken a grasp about our topic for today.
Okay guys, so you can check our chat box. Meron po doong pinaste or sinatang ating mga facilitators na sign-in link. So you can sign in that link, guys.
Yes. And now, let us welcome Siti Raham Farouk to introduce to us to our speaker for today's webinar.
Our guest speaker for today is currently a fourth-year student studying Bachelor of Science in Electronics Engineering at Mindanao State University, General Santos City, second runner-up on the ASEAN Skills Competition, quiz participant at National EEE Competition in 2021, participant on the Eccentrify and National ECE Competition in 2021, shortlisted in YIP last 2019, champion SO debate in 2019 and 2021, and he finished multiple online AI courses in Coursera and Google. Help me virtually welcome Mr. John Ronilo Ortiz.
Yeah, thank you, Engineer Reham, for that wonderful introduction. First of all, I just want to acknowledge the presence of our beloved advisor, Dr. Cristina Dadula, ma'am. And also, I want to welcome everyone for this webinar. So let me just share my screen. Yeah, so this webinar is all about machine learning development. Yeah, so in 2018, this book entitled AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley, and New World Order is published, and it talks about the role of AI in the near future. Now, this is the author of that book. This is 𝒀𝒐 Lee. He is an author and entrepreneur. He is the CEO of Sinovation Ventures, an AI company based in China, and he theorized that 50% of all jobs will be replaced by AI programs. And he actually named some of those jobs. jobs that will potentially be replaced are 1, accountants, 2, factory workers, truckers, paralegals, and radiologists. Also, according to Becker's Hospital Review, an AI will take over certain healthcare tasks related to revenue cycle management. So ano itong revenue cycle management? It is the financial process that utilized from your appointment until na-discharge ka from the hospital. So similar to 𝒀𝒐𝒊𝒐𝒏, the logic behind this is that those tasks, itong revenue cycle management and some others, are repetitive and thus can be automated. Now, the consensus among many experts and industry leaders is that a number of professions will be totally automated in the next 5 to 10 years. And me, personally, I don't believe in it since this statement was released last 2018 and 10 years would be 2028 and it is really soon. So I don't believe in that. Maybe in the next 50 or 100 years. But if we listen to the story of Larry Collins, he is a bridge collector. I mean, he was a bridge collector, toll collector until COVID-19 led the state to automate the job and protect employees and drivers. So basically, he was fired to his job kasi nga kailangan ng protection sa mga employees as well as to the company. And his words, he said, "I just want to go back to what I was doing." And me personally, seeing people deprived of their opportunity and privileges to do their passion is extremely devastating. And all these narratives that I just said, might villainize AI. I just told some stories about people losing their jobs because of automation, companies firing them because their jobs was replaced by AI and therefore their jobs were obsolete. But although AI automates jobs, it also opens other jobs and maybe we just need to look at it at a different angle. As a matter of fact, CEO Byron Reese said that AI is the greatest job engine in the history of the world. He came to this conclusion based on the fact that industries will eventually use AI to automate their operations. And therefore, in the future, AI will open a lot of new jobs. Also, Chris Nicholson, CEO, has the same sentiment. He believes that new jobs will be created because industries and companies in the near future will eventually embed or apply AI to automate their operations. And lastly, Andrew Ng said that AI is the new electricity. He is the co-founder of Coursera. And if you take some courses in Coursera, this is the first statements that you will hear from him. And he said, if AI is the new electricity, he said it because if you remember, before electricity was discovered, the industry is different, right? The main workforce of industry operations are engines, and when electricity was discovered, the industry changed. They now use electricity power to power their operations, to automate some systems, and also the existence of electric device are more efficient than mechanical ones, meaning electric device were commonly used at that time after electricity was discovered. So there are jobs that disappeared, but there are also new ones that are created. So basically, electricity at that time changed the whole industry. That's why Andrew Ng believes that AI will do the same thing in today's industry because eventually companies, like I said, will incorporate AI into their operations. That's why I'm excited to share this topic with you guys so that all of us will have an idea on what machine learning is and how do machines learn and why it is important. So in this seminar, I will be discussing a subset of AI, which is machine learning, as well as machine learning solutions to some computer vision problems. And later, we will be having a live demonstration on how to create these machine learning solutions using Python and Mediapipe. But before we proceed, let's look at our objectives first. So first, to understand machine learning development, the whats, the hows, and the whys of machine learning. Also to know and understand various machine learning solutions such as face detection, pose estimation, and hand estimation. And lastly, to implement the said machine learning solutions using Mediapipe and Python. So let's proceed. Now, this guy is named Arthur Samuel. He is the first person to coin the term machine learning in 1959. He defined machine learning as the field of study that gives computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. So he came up with this concept of machine learning while figuring out a program that can play checkers. So basically, nahihirapan si Arthur na mag-come up ng algorithms that can enable him to program to play checkers. So naisip niya, baka pwede instead of figuring out all the algorithms on how to play checkers, ay gagawa na lang siya ng program that will enable him to teach the computer how to play checkers. At doon niya naisip ang term na machine learning. So technically speaking, machine learning is defined as the set of algorithms that gives computers the ability to learn from a given data. Now, to clearly understand machine learning, let's differentiate it from traditional programming. So if you look on the figure, you can see two models there, traditional programming as well as machine learning. So in traditional programming, you have an input and the program that you write on the computer. And then you expect to have an output. For example, a program that can calculate, let's say, sum of two integers. So you have data, right? So let's say X and Y. And then you need to write the program in that can compute the sum of two integers. Let's say that would be X plus Y, so formula for integers, sum of two integers. Then the output would be the sum of X and Y, right? So basically, you are hard coding the algorithm for figuring the sum of two integers, which is X plus Y. So ang isipin natin, ang traditional programming, you have data and program, then you get output. So kung gagawin natin ang formula yan, so meron kang data plus program equals output. So ganun yung traditional programming. However, in machine learning naman, different siya kasi you have data and output and then you expect to have a program. For example, yung video kanina, you want to create a program that can classify cats and dogs. So if you're going to apply machine learning approach, then you need to have data and then the expected output. So in the case of our example, yung cats and dogs, maybe you need to have pictures of dogs and cats as well as their label. So basically, you have a picture of, let's say, a dog, and then you also have the label of the picture. So since sa picture na yun may dog, so label, dapat na picture is dog. So in this case, so in machine learning pala, you have data and the expected output, and then you expect a program. So kanina sa traditional programming, you have data plus program equals output. In machine learning naman, meron kang data plus output equals program. And this program can be used depending on your application. So in the case of our example, which is cats and dogs classifier, the program can be used to classify cats and dogs. So that's it. So that's it for the machine learning. Now that we know what machine learning is, so it is a set of algorithms that gives computers the ability to learn from a given data. Let's proceed by studying how do machines learn. So paano nga ba natututo yung mga machines? So paano ba natin sila tinuturuan? So there are four ways. One is through reinforcement learning. Basically, this works as a reward and punishment system. So whenever the program guesses correctly, you reward the program. If it guesses incorrectly, you punish the program. So parang anak mo lang yung program. If it does well, bibigyan mo ng reward. Kung hindi naman, papaluin mo. So that's reinforcement learning. Second is semi-supervised learning. This is when you have relatively few labeled data and a lot of unlabeled data. So parang kinumbine mo yung unsupervised sa supervised, which we discuss later. Then yung unsupervised learning naman, this is when you have a purely unlabeled data set. So meron kang data, pero wala silang label. So parang kayo lang. So we'll be explaining this later. Next is supervised learning, is when you have a completely labeled data set. So meron kang data set, then lahat ng mga pictures na yun, let's say kung may data set mo comprised of pictures, then lahat yun may label. So to further discuss supervised learning is a machine learning approach. So supervised learning is a machine learning approach that's defined by its use of labeled datasets. So these datasets are designed to train or supervise algorithms into classifying data or predicting outcomes accurately. So bale, sa supervised learning, dinidiktahan mo ang machine para matuto sila. For example, yung kanina meron tayong labeled dataset ng cats and dogs. So meron kang picture ng cat or dog, and then yung label ng picture. So basically, sa supervised learning, yung ginagawa mo, when you're applying supervised learning, ay sinasabihan mo yung program na kapag ka nakakita siya ng picture ng dog, yan ay dog. Kung cat naman, yan ay cat. So now, supervised learning is good when we are solving classifications and regression problems. So sample ng supervised learning ay neural networks. Yung mga classification problem, ang example niyan, yung cats and dog classifier. So, di ba? Basically, you classify something to be a cat or dog. So, kung yung problem mo, ang output niya, you are expecting the output to be a cat or a dog. So, nothing else, yun classify it. So, na-classify mo yung output as a cat or dog. Yung regression naman, and if you look on the program, yung regression, on the other hand, as a continuous output. For example, this figure. You have labeled dataset of age and height. So in this example, you want to know the height of someone given his or her age. So this is a regression problem because the output is not categorical unlike yung unang example kanina. Instead, continuous. So if you feed a program, let's say at age of 8, so ang ibibigay niya could be a value of 51 or 50. So continuous siya, hindi siya categorical. Kaya tawag siyang regression. So yun yun. Supervised learning are good for classification and regression problems. Now, unsupervised learning naman is a machine learning approach that does not use labeled data. Instead, it looks for patterns to group data points into a subset. Now, the upside of this approach is that you don't need to label all the data, which simplifies the work for the programmer. And in my experience, talagang tedious yung work na magbigay ka ng label sa lahat ng data mo. So, however, you need to have a lot of data so that your program can successfully find some patterns and trends in your data set. So in unsupervised learning, although minus na yung work ng pag-label ng data, pero kailangan mo na napakaraming data para successfully na ma-figure out ng program mo yung patterns and trends in your data set. So unsupervised learning is good when you are solving clustering and anomaly detection problems. Now, just a recap. Ngayon, alam na natin yung kung ano ang machine learning. So it is a set of algorithms that give computers the ability to learn from a given data set. And also, bago lang, we know the how of machine learning. So how do machines learn? There are 4 ways. One is through reinforcement learning. Second is semi-supervised learning. Third is unsupervised learning. And fourth is supervised learning. So now, let's study why we need to learn machine learning in the first place. So earlier in the seminar, I actually mentioned that industries are now using AI or machine learning to automate some tasks. So it is advantageous for someone to be acquainted with machine learning solutions so that in the future you can hindi ka na mamanibago sa technology kasi it is predicted by some expert that in the future industries will eventually tend to use AI in their operation. So dito naman, I just want to share some of the useful machine learning solutions that are revolutionizing our technology today. So these machine learning solutions are used now. So first is yung game intelligence. So example of this is Deep Blue and OpenAI. Now, Deep Blue is the first computer that defeats a chess grandmaster in a chess match. Prior to this event, no one believed that computers could be good at chess or any game in particular. As a matter of fact, if you remember Arthur, di ba, he developed a program that can play checkers. At his time, 1960s yun, hindi masyadong magaling yung checker program niya. And so is some other researchers at that time. So nag-create sila ng mga program that can play chess, that can play Go, that can play checkers, pero hindi ganun kagaling. But after Deep Blue beat Kasparov in 1990s, it's a major breakthrough. Kasi nga, it's a major breakthrough in computer science because it's the first time that a computer beats a chess grandmaster. And so that's for Deep Blue. Now, OpenAI is actually a research team that develops a lot of machine learning solutions for games. Actually, kung alam niyo yung OpenAI, ito yung tumalo sa OG sa Dota 2 noong 2019. And for me, it is a shocker kasi I play a lot of Dota and I play with bots. Hindi sila ganun kagaling. Pero yung OpenAI na dinevelop ng OpenAI na program, it can beat OG for. So it's just an evidence no na machine learning is really advanced now and it is really good to learn. Also, ina-apply din siya yung mga machine learning solutions sa voice recognition. So there are a lot of applications in this area in terms of security, entertainment. So for sure, alam niyo yung mga apps sa Google Play Store that can change your voice. So yun, isa rin yung application ng voice recognition. Third naman is yung object detection and classification. There are also a lot of applications here. It is actually deployed in automobiles for autopilot and many other applications. So napakarami pa if you look on the advertisements ng Tesla, Mitsubishi, di ba may mga autopilot na sila na applications. So the program that can run those, that can accomplish those tasks are object detection and classification. So also, face detection is popularly applied in security and entertainment. So for sure, most of us has IG, right? So you see that IG filters that we use or some people use, there is actually a face detector inside the program. So bago niya i-augment yung mukha mo, dinedetect muna ng app kung may mukha ba sa frame, and then i-apply those filters. So later, I will discuss the face detection, and I will also implement it using Python and Mediapipe. Lastly is pose estimation and hand estimation. So these machine learning solutions are commonly applied in robotics and in a lot of areas. So I will also discuss this along with face detection later in the seminar, and I will also show demonstration on how they work and how to code them. And as a matter of fact, there are a lot of ML solutions out there. You can look it up on the internet, and actually you will be surprised how good people how creative people can be when it comes to coming up with useful solutions to help communities, to help their country, and to help other people. So yeah, that's most of the applications. Now, machine learning has been a popular solution for a particular problem for a very long time, and that problem is computer vision. So, ano ba itong computer vision? So yeah. So just a recap, no, machine learning is a popular solution. It has been existing since 1960s, as early as 1960s, and researchers are constantly applying machine learning to some computer vision problems. Kaya popular yung machine learning when it comes to computer vision. Actually nga, when you heard that term computer vision, parang na-incorporate agad siya with machine learning or AI. So ating munang discuss ano yung computer vision. So computer vision is a method of coming up a computational model for the human visual system. So if you can see this guy, this is Larry Roberts, regarded as the father of computer vision. He is one of the few scientists who are interested in coming up with computer vision algorithms. Actually, in his time, in 1960s, he actually developed a program that can detect faces or the emotions in the face. But during his time, he does not apply machine learning. So basically, he hard-coded everything by transforming the pixels, rearranging everything so that the picture can make sense. So he managed to create the program, but it is not as good as what we have now. And actually, for the longest time, researchers are preoccupied by solving computer vision problems. And now, ngayon lang, in the early 90s and 2000s, naging popular yung machine learning solutions sa pag-solve ng computer vision problems. Kaya nga, as researchers explored computer vision, a lot of doors open for computer vision-related problems such as object classification, object detection, face recognition, pose estimation, and hand estimation. So later, we will be having some demonstration on implementing face detection, pose estimation, and hand estimation. But first, let's discuss kung ano itong face detection. Yeah, so face detection is an AI-based technology used to find and identify human faces in digital images. So just to clarify, for some na hindi nakakaintindi, face detection is different from face recognition. Okay, face recognition is recognizing face, while face detection is just detecting face in a given frame. Nonetheless, popular application of face detection is ginagamit siya as base model for face recognition. And also, face detection can be applied in security biometrics, law enforcement, entertainment, gaya nga nasabi ko yung mga IG filters, and then also personal safety. Now, face detection, specifically in Mediapipe, follows this architecture. So you have an object classifier, and then you train the object classifier using your data, and probably your data comprised of maybe faces. So after that, after you train your classifier, you create an object tracker, and then you got a face detector. So basically, yung face detector, parang ano yan object detector, pero specific sa face. Kasi may mga object detector kasi that can detect, let's say, cats, dogs, pero yung face detector is an object detector that is specific to face. So yeah. And this one, pose estimation, is a computer vision task that infers the pose of a person or object in an image or video. Basically, it is a program that detects the position of the landmarks in the body, commonly the joints, and then connecting those landmarks to create link or stick-like figure that represents your pose. So if you look on the picture, so makikita nyo may landmark sa shoulder niya, sa elbow, and then sa wrist. Meron din landmark sa other elbow, other shoulder rather, and other elbow and other wrist. And then you connect those landmarks, so makakreate ka ng stick-like figure that represents the position of the person in the frame. So pose estimation is commonly applied in virtual reality, especially now after the release of Metaverse. There are researchers that explore the possibility of using this program instead of VR sensor. So di ba, when we are doing virtual reality, minsan gumagamit tayo ng VR sensor. So dito, hindi mo na kailangan ng VR sensor. So may mga researchers that explore the possibility of using post-estimation programs instead of VR sensor as a sensor for metaverse. Next, it is also applied in animation. So last time I heard may mga studios na gumagamit ng post-estimation to animate an actual person's movement. Kasi nga sometimes mahirap mag-animate ng isang legitimate na person na gumalaw. So some studios uses post-estimation. It is also used in gaming as well as robotics. And yeah, there are two approaches when it comes to implementing post-estimation. So one approach is bottom-up, and some of the famous algorithms that using bottom-up approach are OpenPost, PostNet, and DeepCut. Also, there are another approach which is top-down. No, the famous algorithm naman na gumagamit ng top-down is yung AlphaPost tsaka yung DeepPost. So ano ba yung difference ng bottom-up tsaka top-down when it comes to post-estimation? So in bottom-up, as you can see here, meron kang joints, di ba? So those joints represents the landmarks, the specific landmarks on your body. So yung una, ini-estimate niyo yung joints from a given picture, and then from those joints, i-interconnect niyo yun to create a pose. So, makikita niyo naman sa picture. And after that, after you successfully created a pose, magde-detect siya ngayon ng person. So yun yung bottom-up. Yung kaibahan naman ng isa, ito is top-down approach. Ang una niyang ginagawa, dinedetect niya yung person, so ini-enclose niya with bounding boxes. And then from those bounding boxes, mag-estimate na yung program natin ng mga landmarks sa body. So makikita niyo yan, may landmarks sa shoulder niya, sa neck, sa elbow. And after na-estimate na yung joints, mag-create na siya ng pose. So just remember, when top-down, estimate, create, and detect, bottom-up pala, estimate, create, detect, yung top-down, detect, estimate, and then create. Now, hand pose this is hand pose estimation. Hand pose estimation is a computer vision task that predicts the joints in the hands in a given frame. So pwede mo siyang i-interpret din as a pose estimation, but instead of full body, yung kamay mo lang. So yung common applications nito is yung sign language. And actually, if you are acquainted with some machine learning papers, there are a lot of researchers that explore the possibility of using hand pose estimation as a solution to sign language problems. Kasi nga, minsan kasi may nahihirapan yung mga ating mga people, friends na may mga kapansanan. So gumagawa ng mga researchers ng solutions to be able to communicate with them much more properly. Also, it is applied in animation as well as robotics. As a matter of fact, we actually apply hand pose estimation to our robotics thesis to track our hands. It's also used in drone control. So there are a lot of enthusiasts that applies these ML solutions for drone control. So basically, so yun yung face detection, pose estimation, and hand estimation. Now, all of these machine learning solutions that I just said, yung face detection, pose estimation, and hand pose estimation, will be implemented using Mediapipe and Python. So bago muna tayo mag-delve into sa demonstration, let's discuss first what is Mediapipe. So Mediapipe is a framework created by Google for building machine learning pipelines for processing multimodal data such as video and audio. Basically, to Mediapipe, nagbibigay ito ng mga frameworks that are easy to code, easy to install, and easy to deploy. So it is really user-friendly. So this will enable us to easily implement and deploy machine learning solutions. And kaya nga, this is easy to install kasi some of you might be popular with Python, right? So when we install some dependencies in Python, we use pip. So actually, Mediapipe can be installed using pip. And just a disclaimer, just for the sake of this seminar, kasi nga, maliit lang yung time natin, I will not be discussing the back end of Mediapipe, like the whole architecture of those algorithms, kasi nga, kulang yung time. But nonetheless, that's it for the discussion. I believe after the demonstration, we will be having after some break, we will have our demonstration. So, host.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ortiz, for that wonderful session. And that is our first part of our webinar for today. I hope everyone is still actively listening. And if you want to ask our speaker about the topic, you can ask questions in the chat box.
So, as Amy Stapleton said, we are entering a new world. The new technologies of machine learning, speech recognition, and natural language understanding are reaching a nexus of capability. And the end result is that we'll soon have artificially intelligent assistants to help us in every aspect of our lives. So personally, I do believe that change is the only constant thing in the world. So just like computers and humans, we also adapt to those changes. And partner, what did you find the most interesting part of our speaker's message for today?
I think yung pinaka-interesting para sa akin sa part nung sinabi ni Mr. Ortiz sa kanyang session for today is yung post-estimation. Kasi aside sa nandun ako, yung ako talaga yung ginamit na model. Thank you very much, Mr. Ortiz, for the trust na binigay mo sa amin. Dahil kami yung ginamit mong model for your seminar for today. Kasi sa mga movies mo lang talaga minsan makikita yung mga ganon, tapos di mo talaga may isip na possible pala talaga siya. Akala mo like fictional lang mga ganon.
Yeah.
And computers can really evolve.
Yeah.
Or they can learn. Actually, machines can learn talaga.
Yeah. As for me, I find computer vision interesting because it just makes me amazed how a computer can able to see things, understand it, and from digital perspective. So before we continue, we have some icebreaker prepared for our dear participants. So for this webinar, we also prepared some cash prizes along with it.
Yes, and our game for today is, drum roll, jumbled words. All right. So these are very hard jumbled words, guys. Okay. These, of course, prepared by our facilitators, and these words are seen in the session earlier by our speaker. Just type your answers in the chat box.
So for our instructions, given the following anagrams, find the hidden word or words. So for an example, we have here a 𝒉𝒐𝒏.
𝒉𝒐𝒏. What do you think
is the answer?
Okay.
So this is just a trial. So
okay,
yeah.
This is just a sample, guys. Okay.
So from Neil Christian, he said that PewDiePie. Oh.
No, this is jumbled words, guys. Okay. So some answered Mediapipe.
So it came, the first person to answer Mediapipe is Miles Antoinette R. Solatorio. So that is correct. So that is for our trial. So example lang po yun.
Congratulations for winning the sample word.
So
Miles Antoinette.
Yes, I hope everyone understands the mechanics.
Okay.
And for our first word, so I guess what would
for
be
our first word, we have team option C's. Team option C's. Ano kaya to?
This is quite hard.
Ano kaya to? Team option C's. Grabe naman yung mga facilitators natin, no? Wow. So, guys, you can put your answers in the chat box.
So,
and we have
we have a winner.
We have a winner.
So the answer is post-estimation.
So congratulations to
whoever got
the correct answer.
And let's go to our second word.
Our second, we have armoring MPG. Para lang JPEG yung
Sino ba nakaisip nito, ha?
Armoring MPG, ha?
This is quite hard.
Oh!
As I've seen in the comment box, meron na tayong person na naka-answer ng tama.
Meron na nakatama. So, congratulations sa kung sino man yung nakatama ng ating second jumbled word.
Which is, as you can see in the screen, it is programming.
Okay. For our third word, third jumbled word, we have pelted venom. Wow! Grabe.
Talagang mautak yung gumawa nito.
Mautak. Siguro yung computer yung gumawa nito, no?
What?
Wow!
Na po!
Yes! Ang bilis! Grabe yung
mga ng tamang answer.
Nakikinig talaga yung ating mga participants for this session,
so,
no?
the answer is
development. So, congratulations sa kung sino man yung nanalo, no? Ang bilis you guys!
Oh.
Grabe ah. And for our fourth jumbled word, we have channel migraine. Grabe yung grabe yung channel migraine.
Wait!
Ang
Grabe!
bilis! Grabe.
Kakashow pa lang!
Channel migraine.
Guys,
so,
take time. Mahaba pa tong ano natin.
yung time natin guys, no?
Yes,
Kalma lang, nagmamadali talaga kayo, no? They are very eager to learn.
Yes, meron na nakakuha ng tamang answer.
Meron na nakakuha, guys. And the correct answer is machine learning. Yes, congratulations sa kung sino man yung nauna. Ang bilis mo po. And for our fifth and final jumbled word for today, we have
Ovomucin Sprite.
Ovomucin Sprite.
So, anong hula nyo?
Okay, so
Ovomucin. Oh, meron na po nakakuha ng tamang
parang
answer.
medicine lang yung Ovomucin, no? meron na nakatama.
Yes, meron na nakakuha ng tamang
Grabe,
answer.
ang bilis naman. And the word is computer vision. Wow. Ang layo ng Ovomucin Sprite sa computer vision.
Yung migraine talaga mind-blowing.
Yung channel migraine talaga.
Yes.
Pati yung armoring MPG para lang .jpeg yung format.
Addict yung gumawa. And congratulations to the winners of our game for today. We're going to announce the winners later. So reminder again to pay attention to our code attendance. So this code attendance will be needed for our sign-out form.
Yes.
Without this, your sign-out attendance will
be invalidated.
Will not be acknowledged.
Wow. Okay, so
So we are now going to continue the webinar portion of Mr. Ortiz. Take it away.
Yeah, that is really, thank you Engineer J and Engineer Michael for that wonderful game. Talagang nagka-migraine ako doon kasi wala akong nasagutan. Anyways, let's proceed with our demonstration. So let me just share my screen. Can everyone see my screen now? Pwede ba mag-type ng 1 kung nakikita yung screen ko? Thank you for the response, guys. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, as promised kanina, we will be having our demonstration on how to implement Mediapipe. I mean, how to implement machine learning solutions using Mediapipe and Python. So ngayon, i-code natin kung paano ba i-implement itong mga machine learning solutions na discuss ko kanina. Yeah, so first I will be implementing face detection, pose estimation, and then hand pose estimation using Python and Mediapipe. So before tayo mag-start ng code, let's install first our dependencies. So in this machine, I actually have my Mediapipe and OpenCV. So ang kailangan natin dito is Mediapipe and OpenCV. So but I already have my Mediapipe and OpenCV installed on my machine. Pero kung gusto mong i-try sa laptop mo, just type pip install Mediapipe to install Mediapipe. And then it will automatically download all the necessary files, necessary frameworks and APIs. And then you will be able to use Mediapipe after that. Also, we also need to install OpenCV. So to install OpenCV, just type pip install OpenCV, and I think we need to have double dash then Python. So that will install OpenCV into your device, and after that, you will be able to use OpenCV to your programs. So assuming that we already installed our necessary dependencies, which are Mediapipe and computer vision, Mediapipe and OpenCV. Let's start writing the code. So the first thing that we need to do is to import all our dependencies. So to import, let's import OpenCV and Mediapipe. Now to import OpenCV, we need to write import CB2, and we need to import Mediapipe. Let's just write import Mediapipe as MP. So I put as MP here so that because Mediapipe is masyadong mahaba. So MP na lang. So whenever I want to use the Mediapipe framework, I'll just use the variable MP. Yeah, so after we imported our dependencies, we need to create we need to instantiate our drawing utilities so that we can visualize the landmarks that were detected by our program. So to do that, we need to write the code mp underscore drawing. So this is just the name of the variable equals to mp dot solutions dot drawing utilities. So remember, I just want to say it, we will be creating a phase detection. Later, we will be creating post estimation and hand estimation. So ngayon, ano muna, phase detection. So yeah, so after we instantiated our drawing utilities object, we can now create this variable mp phase equal to mp dot solutions dot phase detection. I think it's phase detection. Yeah, so basically the phase detection API of Mediapipe is being stored sa mp over underscore phase na variable. Pero hindi talaga yan siya stored. It's more of an assignment. Basically, the address of your phase detection API is being the address of that API into your memory is stored into this variable called mp underscore phase. So whenever we want to use our phase detection framework, we'll use this mp underscore phase as a reference. So naintindihan ba yun? Can you type 1 if na-gets nyo? Thank you so much for your responses. So after that, we have instantiated our phase detection framework or API. We can now instantiate our video capture object using our CV2 dependency. So that is video capture 0. So this is the syntax for instantiating a capture object for OpenCV. And the 0 here is different from your laptop. For me, it is 0, but the common values here are 1, 2. So depending on your laptop, just play around with those values and let's just see what works. So after that, we instantiated our capture object. We can now create our object, our phase detection object. So to do that, we can do this mp underscore phase that phase detection, I think, detection, and then we'll just pass mean tracking detection confidence. Detection confidence equals 0.5 as phase. So in this line of code, this is another way of creating an object in Python. So basically, we create our phase detection object, and then the address of that object in our memory is stored in this variable called phase. So for some that cannot understand that, let's just think that the phase detection object is being stored in this variable called phase. So whenever we want to use the object, we'll just use this phase variable as our reference. So after that, we can start our capture. So cap is open. So this is just pure OpenCV. And then here, let's start our reading, cap.read. So what happens here is that the frame that is read by your camera is being stored into this variable called image, as well as the Boolean value which is stored in this variable called success. So I just like to add this code. If not success, print, just ignore camera frame. And let's just continue. So after that our image or the frame read by our camera, so in-store niya sa image na to. But before we can process the image, we'll apply some pre-processing to the image. So we need to disable the flags first. So image.flags that writable equals to false. And we also need to change the color scheme of our image from BGR to RGB. So to do that, cv2.cv2 color, then think it's image, cb2 dot color BGR to RGB. So what happens here is that the image, the color scheme of the image is changed from BGR to RGB. So after our image is pre-processed, we can now use our face detection API. So we can do that by typing this result is equal to face dot process image. So mapapansin nyo, English like yung Python. So hindi siya mahirap i-code talaga kasi nga sometimes pwede mong basahin niya as a sentence lang and it will make sense. So like I said kanina, we need to create an object in order to use our face detection framework. And the address of our object is stored in this variable called face. So whenever we want to use our object, or in this case, our face detection object, kailangan natin gamitin ang variable na face. So, nag-gets ba yun? Can you type 1 if naintindihan yun? Thank you so much for the response. So after that, we have our processing na-process na yung image. Let's bring back the original settings of our image. Para ma-display natin siya at makita natin yung ating ginawa. So, kanina, din-disable yung flags. Ngayon, ating i-enable ulit. Then, we need to bring back the original color scheme. So, image is equal to cb2.cbtcolor. Then, image, tapos cb2.color underscore from RGB to BGR. Yeah, so now that we have our image back to its original settings, we can now start detecting. So if result.detections, I think it's .detections. So kapag true yan, gagawin niya to. So for detection in result.detections, ang gagawin niya is, kanina, if you remember, we have our drawing utilities. So gagamitin natin to para i-draw yung landmark sa ating image. So use our MP drawing .draw detection. Draw detection and then pass the image and also the detection. Yeah, so that's it. Then we'll just show our image. So cb2.imshow. That would be the name of our frame, face detector. Then I just like to flip the image para maganda siya. Flip image, then 1. And I also just like to add this code. This code cb2 wait key 1 and 0xff is equals to ord. Yan. So basically, what happens here in this block of code, whenever I click the Q on the keyboard, the program will stop. So that's it. So after that, copy this. And yeah, let's just save this one. Let me just turn on my video. And then if I run this, it should as you can see, diba? Successfully na-detect niya yung mukha ko. So kung titingnan niyo yung code, napakaliit lang. Then, but you can implement this using TensorFlow, PyTorch, or whatever you want. Pero napakahirap nun kasi napakaraming, una-una, mahirap install yung TensorFlow. Tapos marami ring mga API na kailangan mong intindihin before mo ma-apply. So itong Mediapipe, it's easy kasi nga, liit lang ng code. And you can deploy this on your phone or in your Raspberry Pi. Pwede mong gamitin to as a detection, maybe apply sa server mo. So yeah, so that's it for our face detection. Diba? Ang galing. Tapos, if I hit Q, the program will stop. So as promised, we will be having our face detection, post estimation, and hand post estimation. So let me just create another file here. Sorry. Wala. New file. So demo2.py. Yeah, in this file, we'll create our post detection program. So yung uno nga, gagawin natin is to import our dependencies. But let me ask you this, ano yung dalawang dependencies na kailangan natin i-import? So anyone? Sige, just type your answers in the chat box para makita naman. Dalawa, yung dalawa dapat dalawa. So, thank you, Mr. Jumel Sampiroy. Yeah, it's right. We need to import our CB2 and OpenCB and our Mediapipe. So, thank you. Now, to do that, just type import CB2 and also import Mediapipe as MP. So, itong MP, pwede to kahit ano, pwede yan CX, pwede yan SB or QW, depende sa gusto mo. Pero yung MP kasi logical siya kasi Mediapipe, so mas daling maintindihan ng MP. Basta, tandaan nyo lang na whenever you want to use Mediapipe, just use this variable instead. So, instead of typing Mediapipe, MP na lang i-type mo para mas mabilis. Then, the next thing that we need to do is to import our drawing utilities. So, MP_drawing is equal to MP.solutions, solutions.drawing utils. So, ang gagawin natin ngayon is post estimation na program. So, kailangan din natin ng drawing styles. So, MP drawing styles is equals to MP.solutions.drawing styles. So, we have our drawing utilities, but unlike yung sa face detection kanina, kung titingnan natin to, wala itong drawing style kasi wala tayong kinoconnect-connect ng mga landmarks. Pero dito sa ating post estimation, meron tayong i-connect na landmarks. So, kailangan natin ng drawing styles. And then, similar kanina, we created this variable, but instead of face, gawin natin post, MP.solution.post. So, dito, ang nangyari dito, yung post estimator framework ng Mediapipe is, yung post estimator ng Mediapipe ay na-i-store dito sa variable na MP_post. Pero kaya nasabi ko kanina, hindi siya store. Hindi siya talaga store, technically hindi siya store. It's more of an assignment ng address. Pero for the sake of this seminar, let's just say na store para mas madaling maintindihan. Basta tandaan niyo lang natin, whenever we want to use our post estimator of framework, we'll use this MP_post variable as a reference para hindi tayo mahirapan. So after that, we'll instantiate our capture object. So cb2.video capture and 0. Again, ang 0 dito, maybe it might be different sa laptop mo. It could be 1, it could be 2. So just play around with this value. So just in case na gusto mong i-program itong code na to sa sarili mong laptop, just play around with those values and see what works. So after that, we instantiate our capture object. We can now create our object, our post estimator object. So MP_post.post, and let's just pass these parameters. So mean tracking, confidence equals to 0.5. Also mean tracking detection confidence equal to 0.5 as well as post. So similar sa face detection kanina, we are creating our object. So this is the object, and then we want the address of that object, yung address niya sa memory, to be stored in this variable post. So that whenever we want to use the object, instead of typing this line of code, gagamitin natin itong post na variable. So mas mali siya, mas madali. So after that, after the object is created, we can now open our camera. So while scrap that is open. So kapag true yan, gagawin niya, kaya yung kanina we have success and image equals to cap.read. So whatever is read by our camera, it will be stored in this variable called image, as well as the Boolean value associated with it. And I just like to add this code. If not success, underscore print, just ignore camera frame. Camera frame. And just hit continue, then that's it. So before we pass through our image to our post estimator, ano yung next natin gagawin? So anyone? So sa lahat na nag-follow kanina, baka may idea kayo ano next na gagawin. Before ang processing, anong kailangan gawin sa image? So just type your answers on the chat box. Kung may makakuha kaya. So di ba, we will use post estimator as our to process the image, di ba? So before tayo mag-process ng image, ano ang gagawin natin sa ating image? Yun, thank you so much. So, kailangan natin i-pre-process yung ating image. So, to do that, just disable the flags. Flags.writeable equals false. And also change the color scheme. So, image is equals to, I think it's cb2.cbt color, image, then cb2.color from VGR to RGB. So now that our image is pre-processed, we can now use the image as an input to our program, or we can process the image. So that is result similar to what we did kanina. Result that post, that process, and we will going to process the image. So, remember, before we can use our post estimator framework, we need to create an object. And since our object is the address of the object in the memory is stored in this variable called post, so whenever we want to use the object, let's just refer to this variable named post. So, post.process, and sa loob ng process is image. So basically, ang post estimator niya, ipaprocess niya yung image, and then yung output ng image na yun, isa-store niya sa variable tawag ay result. So that's it. Now, after our image is processed, we can bring back the original settings of our image. So flags.writeable equals to true. And then let's bring back our original color scheme, cb2.cbt color, image, tapos cb2.color from RGB to VGR. So yeah, that's it. Then we can do some detections now. So MP_drawing, I think it's that draw detections, draw landmarks at landmarks. So, image, then the result that I think is, let me just refer to my code here. So I think it's post landmarks. Yeah, so post_landmarks, then MP_post that post connections, and MP with I just want to add drawing styles para mas maganda yung visualization. Drawing styles that get default post connections. I think connection style. Yeah, and that's it. So after that, we can show our image cb2.imshow. Tapos name of the frame. So let's say post estimator. And just like to flip the image, cb2.flip. Then image, then what? Yeah, and after that, I just like to add this code. So cb2.key, the rate key 1, and ff is equals to ort.
Diyan naman kayo.
Yeah, so whenever I click the Q on the keyboard, it will stop the program. So yun yung purpose ng program na to. And after that, let's just hit release. Yeah. So let me just turn off my video here. Sorry, so let's just save, and then after that is save. Ito yung magana. Ito mali. So wait lang, let me just check. Post connect, get default post connection style. Ano ba dito? Post landmark style pala, sorry. Landmarks pala to. Landmarks. So save, then click. Yeah, so you can see na detect niyo yung post ko pati yung buong katawan. Yeah. So it works. Yeah, again, if you're going to implement this using other frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, or whatever, DeepCut, yung post estimation is DeepCut, PostNet, OpenPost, medyo mahirap siya i-implement kasi nga medyo complex yung, medyo native pa yung low level kasi yung DeepCut, TensorFlow, ng mga approach. Ito kasi Mediapipe, high level. So napakaraming framework that is built before ang Mediapipe. So yeah, it is really fast. Kung mapansin nyo nga, nare-detect nyo halos lahat. This fast and it's easy to display and to deploy. So nakita nyo ang liit lang ng code. Pero kung i-code mo to sa TensorFlow, napakahirap nito. Or DeepCut or whatever I want to use. Medyo mahirap yan. So yeah. And you can deploy this on your cell phone, sa server, or sa edge devices na gusto mong gamitin. And then it will work. So yeah, so you can just be creative with this to create some useful solutions. So that is for our post estimator. And then let me hit Q para ma-stop yung program. And lastly, we need to create, may time pa tayo ata. So I think we need to create the program for tawag yan, sa hand estimation. So let me just create new file, demo3.py. So dito yung hand estimation natin. So kanina parang medyo similar lang yung implementation. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung pose detection at yung face detection, medyo similar sila. And ganoon nga talaga. Basta when you're using Mediapipe, madali lang siyang i-code at madali lang siyang i-deploy. Yeah, so but before we write ano yung pinakauna nating kailangan gawin sa ating code? Anyone? Yung anong first step talaga na kailangan gawin? Ano yun? Import. Sige, import what? So pinakauna na yeah, so yun. So tama no? Import our dependencies which are Mediapipe and OpenCV. So let's type import CB2, then also import Mediapipe as MP. Gaya na sabi ko kanina, itong MP pwedeng ano yan, CX, pwede yung QW, ASD or whatever you want. Ginawa ko lang MP para logical siya sa Mediapipe. So after that we imported our dependencies, we'll create or instantiate our drawing utilities. So mp_drawing equals to mp.solutions.drawing utils. Also, I just also like to add drawing styles. So mp_drawing styles, mp.solutions.drawing styles. So napaka straightforward ng Python, kaya dali siyang gamitin. Drawing styles. Yeah, after that, gaya ng ginawa natin sa face detection at post estimator, we need to create this variable called, let's say, hands, kasi gagamitin natin yung hand estimator framework, mp.solutions.hands. So gaya ng kanina, yung hands estimator na framework ng Mediapipe, yung address nun sa memory, ini-store mo dito sa mp_hands. So basically, whenever you want to use the hands estimator framework of Mediapipe, instead of typing mp.solution.hands, you just type mp_hands para medyo logical siya at saka straightforward. So after that, we need to instantiate our capture object. So capture is equals to cb2.videoCapture0. So gaya na sabi ko kanina, the 0 here might be different from your device. It could be 1, it could be 2. So mag-play around ka ng just try those values and see what works. Mapapansin nyo, up to this point, parang medyo similar lang siya sa ginawa natin kanina sa post estimation. Di ba kung mapapansin nyo? Yeah, so after that, we need to instantiate our object. So the way I do it is this. So mp_hands dot hands. Then I just like to add some parameters. So tracking confidence is equals to 0.5 and mean track deduction confidence equals to 0.5 as hands. Kanina, ano yun as post saka as face ito as hands kasi we are using our hand estimator. So just to reiterate, we created our hands estimator object, and then the address of that object from the memory is stored in this variable called hands. So whenever we want to use our object, we'll just use this hands variable as our reference. So similar siya kanina sa post estimator, kung titingnan nyo, kung compare nyo, as post dito naman as hands. Sa face naman as face. So, di ba? Para logical lang siya. Next thing you need to do is to open while cap is open. So kapag true yan, gagawin niya, success image is equal to cap.read. So whatever frame read by our camera, isa-store niya yon sa variable na image as well as the corresponding Boolean values which is in the success. And I just like to add this code. If not success, gagawin niya, i-print niya, just ignore camera frame. Ignore camera frame. And just hit continue. That's it. So after that, we can pre-process our image by disabling our flags. Writable equals to false. And image, and also changing the color scheme of our image. cb2.cbtcolor. Image, tapos cb2.color. Okay, another question. So we change our color scheme from what to what? Anyone? Just type your answers in the chat box. So So thank you sa mga nag-response, no? So it is from BGR color, BGR to RGB. So thank you. After that, our image is pre-processed. We can now start our processing. So result, kaya na kanina, is equals to face dot process. Then ipapasok natin yung image. Sorry, face pala to. So this should be hands. So this is hands. Hands, yeah. So we need our post estimator to process our image, right? So whenever we want to use our hands estimator framework, we'll use our object. And since we have our variable called hands as the placeholder for the address of the object, we can use it as a reference to our object. So we got hands, which is ito yung hands estimator mo. Ipaprocess niya yung image, and then the output of that processing will be stored in this variable called result. Yeah, that's it. So after our image is processed, we can bring back the original settings of our image. So enable the flags, change the color scheme back to its original color scheme. So cb2.cbtcolor. So image, I think it's image, then cb2.color RGB to BGR. Yeah, so and basically that's done. So let's just start our detection. So result, type multi-hand landmarks. Kasi maraming landmarks sa hand, multi-hand landmarks. Gawin niya. Sorry pala. If pala to if. If result underscore multi-hand landmarks, gagawin niya for each landmark in result that multi-hand landmarks, gagawin niya, i-draw niya yung landmarks. So kanina, remember, we have our drawing utilities up here na instantiate na siya. So let's use that MP drawing. It's MP underscore drawing, then dot draw landmarks. So napaka-straightforward talaga ng Python. Then saan tayo mag-draw ng landmarks? Siyempre sa image. Ano ang i-draw sa image? Yung landmark. And then I think may just refer. Kailangan pa ng kodigo yan. And connections. Landmarks. So MP underscore hands dot hand connections. Then dito, ito na yung mga style. So MP underscore drawing style dot get default hand landmarks ata. let's just see what works. That's Mark style. Yan. Saka MP drawing style. Sorry, drawing style. That get default underscore hand connections underscore style. Yeah, so that's it. After that, we can show our image. So cv2.imshow. So name ng frame, let's say hand estimator. Estimator. Tapos, I just like to flip the image, cv2.flip. So if you get the image, sa axis 1, then I just like to add this code, cv2.waitKey. Yeah, waitKey 1. Then and 0xff, sorry, ff equals ordq. Sorry. So itong q, depende to sa gusto mo. Pwede yung x, pwede yung z. Akin q kasi madali na siyang pindutin. Basta ang logic nito is, whenever you click q, the program will stop. So ano lang yun. Just hit break and we're pretty much done. Let's just stop cup release. That's it. Let's just turn off my video. Let's just save it, then tingnan natin kung gagana. Hit play. So flee, mali pala to. This is flip. Sorry. Yep. Save again. Yep. So successfully created our hand estimator. So, ang dali niyang gamitin kasi nga, ano siya, higit lang code na ginamit natin. Gaya ng sa pose detection, face detection, and hand estimation. So, this is really accurate. And you can use this if you want to create, let's say, a sign language detector. So, ganyan, pwede ka maganyan. O ano ba yung sign language ng... So, wala akong alam na sign language. Pwede ka mag-create ng, mga symbol, diba? Ganyan. So, ganyan. So, depende sa gusto mo. So, you can build useful systems out from this program. Maybe you want to create, let's say, a drone control. Pag gaganyan, ili ko ang drone mo dito. Kapag gaganyan, ili ko ang drone mo dito. So, depende sa'yo. But definitely, you can use this as a base model for your system na gusto mong i-create. So, yeah, that's it for our hand estimator. And I believe that's the end of our demonstration. I hope you learned something, guys. I hope you learn a lot from this seminar. Sa mga students, I hope pwede nyo itong gamitin sa mga thesis nyo, projects nyo, whatever you want to use with it. And you can actually create some useful solutions with this technology. So, depende lang sa creativity nyo. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful and skillful webinar, Mr. Ortiz. I hope our listeners have learned a lot of new things in the field of machine learning. So by the way, we would like to recognize the presence of our advisor, Dr. Cristina P. Dadula. Ma'am, thank you for attending. And for this portion of the program, we are now open for the discussion to be answered by our speaker. So we would like to invite our speaker to be in the spotlight. And yes, so guys, don't hesitate to send your questions in the chat box and we will try to accommodate all of your questions.
So comment your questions in the comment box. We will chat box.
Okay, Mr. Ortiz, are you ready to cater the questions of our participants?
Sure. Keep it coming.
So we have questions now. So first question coming from Patrick Anthony Bueno. Ano po ba meaning ng tracking and detection confidence na argument?
So basically, ano siya, parameter yan siya na kung babalikan natin ito dito. Let me just share my screen para makita na lahat. Yeah, so basically here, it's a parameter of the hand estimator program. So di ba, itong line na to, ito yung nag-create ng object. So when we create an object, basically sa Python may mga tinatawag na constructors yan. And then this ito part ito ng ano eh, pag when you construct an object, pwede yan kahit anong value. So, you can play around with this to maybe if you hindi ka satisfied sa accuracy ng program mo, you can change the tracking confidence. Kung sa tingin mo, lagging ba yung pagganyan mo ng hand, medyo lagging ba yung detection, ay may pag-track ng hand, so pwede mong baguhin yan to 0.6 or whatever you want. So, detection naman, kung kahit nandyan na yung hand mo, tapos hindi pa rin ma-detect ng program, you can change the values of this being accurate. Pero, nonetheless, ito yung mga parameters ng object mo that you need to specify before you can create the object. So, I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ortiz. For our next question, we have from Ardri Castulo. Anong kamera po gamit niyo?
Yeah, so I think this is Logitech. Hindi ko lang alam ng anong model. Pero definitely Logitech.
Uy, nice.
Yeah, C505. So hiniram ko lang to.
Okay na?
Okay, for our third question. This is from Kenneth Sabanilla. Besides the quality and type of the camera, does Mediapipe affects the quality of light in the video preference while reading the detection? If needed, what would be the acceptable percentage of light to show its best preference? Thank you for answering this question.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Sir Kenneth. So basically, itong Mediapipe kasi, kinreate siya on top of TensorFlow algorithms, ay TensorFlow framework. So basically, yung accuracy ng Mediapipe depende sa accuracy ng model na ginamit ng TensorFlow. So in the case of, depende kasi yan sa framework na ginamit. So I assuming na tinutukoy niya is yung post estimation. So yung post estimation, I mean yung hand estimation pala, let's say hand estimation for example. Yung hand estimation, yung model niyan, kinreate siya above sa Blaze phase na algorithm, which is trained with a lot of training data set. So kung concern mo is yung accuracy, well, I think that's the best hand estimation na program na pwedeng magamit ngayon. So Mediapipe is really accurate. Parang ganun, yeah. Wait lang, can you send me na question? Hindi ko siya doon na minyan. Ay, ito. Sige ba the representation? Show its best preference. So I think kahit naman, actually I tried this without lights. And kahit maliit lang yung light, nagde-detect pa rin siya. So I think kahit madilim or maliwanag, pero preferably kailangan maliwanag para mas madaling ma-detect ng program. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Kenneth.
So guys, we are still open for questions. Don't hesitate to put your questions in the comment box.
So guys, comment lang kayo guys or chat lang dito sa ating chat box kung meron po kayong questions sa ating speaker for today's seminar.
I also actually to add sa answers Kenneth, no? Kasi yung Mediapipe, you can customize. For example, if you want to use, kasi itong hand estimator, for example, hand estimation, kinreate siya above Blaze phase algorithm. So, pwede kang train ang sarili mong model and then deploy it in Mediapipe and then use it as the framework sa Mediapipe. So, I believe you have questions.
Okay, so we have another question coming from Angelo Eben C. Verano. Ang Mediapipe pose, hand, and face estimation mag-disregard po sa backgrounds generally?
Yeah, I think so. Kasi I actually tried this with different backgrounds and it works just fine. Accurate pa rin siya, it can detect. So I think the background is, it's not relevant in the detection. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
So another question from Patrick Anthony Bueno. Paano po kung multiple people ang kailangan i-detect? Mas madali pa din po ba ikumpara sa ibang frameworks?
Yeah, that's a really good question. No? Let me just share my screen para makita natin. You know what, wag na lang. So, basically, you can use Mediapipe. Kasi nakita nyo yung just hindi ko kasi alam yung syntax talaga, but nakita niyo ba yung screen ko yan? So dito, you can put the maximum, I think it's max number. Di ko lang alam yung yung anong syntax talaga, but you can put the maximum number, you can specify the number of detections na pwedeng ma-detect ng hands mo or yung pose or yung face dito na part. Pero nasa documentation yan, just look. Di ko lang memorize yung buong syntax talaga. But you can specify. So kung gusto mo 5, pwede mag-type mo 5. Kung gusto mo 6. Di ko lang alam kung ano yung maximum, pero probably you can definitely you can change the number of detections in this line sa pag-create mo ng object. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you for that question, Patrick Anthony Bueno. And we also have another question coming from Kenneth Sabanilla. What would be the overall percentage accuracy of Mediapipe compared to other detection apps?
Oh, that's a really good question. Again, from Kenneth. Basically, well, I don't know the numbers, pero if you're going to compare it with, let's say, DeepCut or PostNet or OpenPost, it is actually much more efficient and accurate sa mga framework na yun. And given the fact na napakadaling i-deploy nun. So, but if you really want some numbers, you can check the paper of Mediapipe sa Google Scholar. Nandun naman yun. So, yeah.
So I hope satisfied na yung mga nag-question, no? So we are still open.
So guys, if meron pa kayong gustong itanong sa ating speaker for today, pwede rin po kayong magtanong ulit or...
Yeah,
Ayun, we have another question coming from Patrick Anthony Bueno. Again, thank you for asking. Paano po sa multicam system? May kaibahan po ba sila sa pag-implement?
Well, I believe yung Mediapipe, let me just share my screen again. So this question I think is just pure OpenCV. Nakita niyo itong video capture na to. So actually the number 0 here represents the device connected, the device correspond to the number, the 0 here is the number corresponds to my webcam. So pwede yung 1 kung meron kang external camera na ginamit, pwede kang mag-experiment, let's say 1 or 2 until ma-find mo yung kung saan device na connect yung camera mo. So basically, but if you mean like multi-cam system, like you can display a lot of cameras in your screen, and then ng lahat ng mga camera yun may separate na mga detection. I haven't tried that one, but I think it can work with Mediapipe. Yeah, I think it will work. But nonetheless, if you let's say our laptop has our webcams, right? So, but if you want to use a external webcam, just play around with the values in this function. So 0, 1, -1 until you find the right one. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ortiz, for that answer. I hope na-satisfy ang ating mga participants sa mga sagot na binigay ng ating speaker for today.
So I'm reminding everyone again to use our virtual background and to pay attention to our code which will be needed on our sign-out forms.
Thank you very much, guys, sa pag-participate sa ating Q&A portion.
So thank you very much to those who participated in the Q&A portion. And now, let's present the Certificate of Appreciation to our dear speaker for today's webinar. Oh, wait. Kabel tayo. Kabel na lang, kabel.
So, merong pahabol na question, if possible. Are you still there, Mr. Ortiz?
Yeah.
So, may pahabol na question coming from Kenneth Sabanilla. In terms of post estimation, does it affect if the video is static or not?
Well, yeah, thank you, Kenneth. Really a curious guy. Yeah, definitely. Kahit anong computer vision solutions or algorithm mga gawin mo, it will definitely it will affect the video quality kung static ba hindi. It will affect kahit anong framework ang gamitin mo. So yung static ng video or hindi, it will definitely affect the post-estimation program.
The certificate of appreciation to our dear speaker for today's webinar.
I will going to read the contents of the certificate. Certificate of appreciation is hereby granted to John Ranilo Ortiz for sharing his valuable time and expertise as the resource speaker during the ECE 196.1 Machine Learning Development with the theme An Introduction to Computer Vision through Mediapipe Python Solutions, given the second day of April 2022 at General Santos City, Philippines. Signed by Dr. Cristina P. Dadula, Chairman, EEE Department, and Dr. Noel S. 𝐑𝐚𝐳, Dean, College of Engineering.
So thank you everyone. Thank you sa appreciation. But I just like to give shout outs to the whole team, especially kay Jason Kaong for the leader of the technical team, also kay Ayan sa team leader ng buong team. This webinar will not be possible kung hindi dahil sa kanila. So shout out to you guys.
So once again, thank you very much, Mr. John Ranilo Ortiz, for your time and efforts, as well as to the facilitators of this webinar series. Without you, this webinar series won't be successful.
And a big thanks also to our participants for joining this webinar series. Thank you very much guys sa pag-attend. And to those na mga nagtanong na kanilang mga questions kay Mr. Ortiz, salamat talaga guys.
I hope yung questions nyo ay na-satisfy naman ni Sir Ortiz.
Yes. And we still have enough time guys, no? So we are going to proceed to our second part of our program, which is another mini game nga guys, para ma-entertain naman ng lahat, no?
Yes.
And para malaman talaga natin if may nakinig ba talaga kay Mr. Ortiz.
May cash prizes pa din dito.
Yes, of course. Hindi mawawala ang ating cash prizes. So for the next part, we also have, again, jumbled words pa rin, guys. Yes, jumbled words pa rin kasi ito na talaga yung naisip na.
So, same mechanics pa rin.
Yes, same mechanics pa rin.
Kung sino yung unang makakasagot, siya yung makakakuha ng ating cash prize.
Yes.
So, for our first word, here it is. 𝒀𝒐𝒏.
Basta
yan na yun.
Parang padark na tayo, guys.
𝒀𝒏. Okay.
We have a winner.
Oh.
Grabe ang bilis. We have a winner na nga. Grabe nakuha pa nila yung 𝒀𝒏, no? Grabe.
Guys, take time.
Shocking nga yung 𝒀𝒏, no? And the correct word is pre-process. Wow, so talagang nakinig ang ating mga participants sa webinar natin ngayon, no? For our next word, we have persuading sniveler. Persuading sniveler.
Grabe, talaga mag-isip
yung ating mga
game coordinator.
Yes.
Game
coordinators. And we have a confirmation na meron nang nakatama. Grabe, ang bilis. Ang tatalino ng ating mga participants.
Pa-share naman po ng knowledge.
Yes, sana all. Grabe, no? Congratulations sa kung sino man yung nakakuha. And the correct answer is
supervised learning.
Supervised learning. Wow, grabe na kwento yun.
Grabe,
no?
So, let's go to our third word. So, award.
Next is 𝒂𝒐𝒐𝒏.
𝒂𝒐𝒐𝒏. So, ano ito?
Ito, no?
Kilala lang po yung alam ko.
Flu lang po yung ano. So, yes, another confirmation. We have
a winner.
A winner na nga, no?
Wait lang, gusto malaman ko ano yan. Wala ko idea.
Sino kaya yan? I mean, ano kaya yan?
Wait.
Okay, so the correct word is 𝒀𝒐𝒐𝒏. So, na-mention yun kanina ng ating speaker.
Yung 50% daw.
Yes, siya yung nag-predict na mapapalitan daw ng AI yung jobs,
yes.
Diba? And he also named those jobs, diba? Ang galing ni
Let's
𝒀𝒐𝒏.
go for our fourth word.
Fourth word is 𝒀𝒐𝒏.
Lie accenting.
Accenting.
Grabe. Fair lytil. Lie accenting.
Wait, meron na? Oh my.
Meron na?
Yes,
na ba?
meron na nakatama.
Yes, meron na nakatama and it's confirmed na meron na nakatama. Congratulations sa sino na nakatama. Ang gagaling.
Yes. Meron pa ba tayong last word?
Artificial intelligence yung word, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
So, meron pa tayong fifth word.
Fifth word is narrow kill nut.
Narrow kill nut.
Gusto ko sabihin pero di ko
Ako na. Oh, meron na naka-answer.
Congratulations.
Amora. Oh, Hakot Award daw.
Hakot Award daw si Amora. Grabe.
Nakash ko siya ka. PM ko siya, Gcash ko.
PM mo daw si 𝐬𝒔 Congratulations sa nakatama nun. So, the correct answer is neural network. So, nakinig talaga yung ating mga participants. Go out racing talons.
Out racing talons. Sige, hulaan nyo kung ano yan. Pero wala na tong prize,
Wala na tong prize,
Wala na tong prize.
Out racing talons.
Out racing talons sa inyong lahat.
Wow, congratulations. Yes, congratulations sa ating winners and thank you very much sa mga nag-participate, no? So, guys, you can use, once again, sa mga PC users as well as mga laptop users, no? Pwede nyo gamitin yung ating virtual background na pinost ng ating mga facilitators dyan sa comment, sa chat box.
And sign-out code will be provided later.
Yes.
So, you can use it on our sign-out forms.
So actually guys, kung hindi nyo nalalaman, meron tayong special winners. We have 3 special winners nga, no? We have most questions asked.
Yes.
We have most questions asked, no? Another one is most responsive sa ating chat box. Whether you ask questions or like nag-respond ka sa mga activity kanina ni Sir Ortiz. And we also have
the most active.
Most active. Most active,
active,
yes. Thank you very much, guys, for participating in our event, no? And kung meron pa kayong gustong ipa-shoutout, guys, kasi tinatali na ng ating mga facilitators, yung mga winners natin, no? Wala po bang most disconnected award? I'm so sorry, wala kasi kaming record kung sino yung most disconnected, no?
So, mga pa-shoutout. We'll accommodate you po.
Yes, shout out kay Rainier Mozo, partner sa thesis, sabi ni Kenneth Sabanilla. So, good luck sa inyong thesis,
So, from Jumel Ayan Samperoy, shout out po kay Kuya Ortiz ulit.
Wow, shout out daw Kuya Ortiz.
Ay pa.
Shout out next group na mag-seminar from JNT Fuentes Pina. So, guys, this is the second part of our webinar series pa lang, no? Kasi last week we had our first part. Yung ating speaker is Mark John Larry Casero. Yun, magaling rin yun. Yung topic niya is web development. Ngayon is we have our speaker earlier, John Danilo Ortiz with the machine learning. And for next week in April 13, 2022, no, we have Miles Antoinette Solatorio. Yung title is The Basic Toolkit to Get Started on Data Analytics. Wow.
Wow.
Grabe.
So, yung mga nag-join dito, please join din dun sa next
Yes,
natin.
we are highly encouraging you guys to join.
Madami po tayong matututunan doon.
And we also have 4th webinar.
Yeah, 4 webinar series.
For our webinar series, no? Yung speaker is our beloved technical head, Lloyd Jason Kaong. Title is tentative pa rin.
So, meron pa tayong pa-shoutout dito from Rodelio R. Amatorio. Most Iniwan Award.
Aww. So, shoutout po sa mga 4th year students here sa seminar mismo from GenCas. And wow, we have shoutout from Ilocos Sur Community College students from Roy Sheldon Banya. So, shoutout guys sa mga students natin from different parts of the Philippines. And malay natin, we have participants coming from abroad, di ba? So,
may reminder po pala yung ating facilitator. Once lang daw makatanggap ang winner. Ha 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 ha.
So once lang daw. So Amora, sorry. Hakot Award, pero yes, malay mo ikaw yung manalo sa ating isa sa mga special award, no?
So from Phoebe, Sheena Riva, pa-shoutout sa drafting 2G GRP2 from Bulacan State University, Bustos Campus.
So, shout out from Bulacan. Maraming nag-fill out ng forms coming from Bulacan State University. So, thank you very much.
Hello there.
From Bulacan State University. Thank you very much for attending our webinar series for today.
Shout out po sa St. Louis College, La Union.
So, do we have the winners? So, we have the list of our winners and we're going to announce them now. So, for our jumbled words, we have Amora K. Uto,
Alian Crizel Yabut,
Bulax, like yung name niya lang talaga is Bulax.
Next is our very own Jane T. Fuentes Pina.
And Neil Christian Florendo. So, ito yung first part ng ating jumbled words.
So, for the second part, we have Amora K. Uto.
And another Amora K. Uto. Nakakatatlo. Actually, apat.
Apat?
Apat.
Nakaapat pala siyang tama
si Amora,
answer.
grabe, no? Hakot award talaga si Amora. We also have Charlene P. Mingoa.
And lastly, we have Renon B. Aquino.
So, congratulations to the winners. And kindly message lang si AAA Facilitator Reham. Kung makikita nyo dyan sa Zoom. Kindly direct message her for your Gcash number and pati yung name nyo din. Thank you. We also have our most active. We have Mark Anthony. Congratulations Mark Anthony, no?
Salamat
for being the most active participant in this webinar series. Most questions asked is Kenneth Tabanilla. Congratulations, Kenneth. And we have
his first question, or first na nag-ask ng question. So, siya si Patrick Anthony Bueno.
Congratulations! Congratulations sa ating winners, and thank you very much guys for participating for this webinar series, no?
Partner, meron pa pala tayong prizes.
Meron pa daw prizes. So, another one is yung mga sumagot
daw
sa questions ng ating speaker. We have Jumel Ayan Samperoy, Judiza May Novera Pilapil.
Next is Allen Edward S. Uy. And Angelo Eben C. Verano. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and thank you very much for participating guys sa ating webinar series for today.
So, gusto ko palang i-shout out yung ating mga facilitators. So, for our setup and for this all, I want to shout out Lloyd Jason Kaong.
Thank you very much.
So, for our games, we have Carl Jeb Orculio. For the venue, we have Raymond and Olmedo. For our equipment and support, we have Ayan Espirito. And for our technicals, we have Lloyd Jason Hidalgo, Noife Inocencio, Lloyd Joseph Hidalgo. sorry. Lloyd Joseph Hidalgo, Noife Inocencio, and City Faruk. City Reham Faruk.
Thank you very much, facilitators. And now we are going to proceed to our next part of our program. And to formally close this webinar, let us welcome our advisor, Dr. Cristina P. Dadula, for her closing remarks. Ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Good morning to my class, seminar class ECE 196.1. My ECE 160 class and other students of MSU and students from other universities. We have participants from Manila, Batangas, Cebu, and other parts of the country. Can I request for a thumbs up remark from the students outside the university? Can you press thumbs up or react or say a yes? Gaano sila karami? Okay.
Madami po.
Madami. Okay, 99, 310. Students outside the country, can you react a heart? Gusto ko lang malaman kung iilan or kung sino-sino or ano.
Kailangan po
outside the country, a heart Meron? Okay. Now, thank you so much for your participation in the second webinar of our class. This is a fourth year course of the new ACE curriculum. Congratulations to the host group for successfully hosting this webinar, led by Ian Espiritu, their team leader, or John Ranilo Ortiz, the technical speaker, and other members of the group, Carl Jeb or Colio, Michael Chan, Nisisitu, Jason Lloyd, Kaong, J. Masibay, Siti Reham Farouk, Lloyd Joseph Hidalgo, Noefi Inocencio, Raymond Olmedo. Ayan, and Raymond Olmedo. To the technical speaker, John Ranelio Ortiz, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge about machine learning and Mediapipe. Indeed, our class, ECE 196.1, is a very good opportunity for our students to learn how to speak and share their knowledge in front of the academic or scientific community, as well as learn how to plan, conduct, manage, or host a webinar. To the host group, congratulations on the job well done. We understand that we need more time, more time to understand the concept of machine learning. Machine learning is a vast topic, especially for undergraduate students. For those doing capstone project in machine learning or any related subject, I suggest that we start with the idea of our proposed application. Since our application could accept, say, image or sound as an input or any other input, so I suggest that we start with that idea. Kung ano yun. We start with that idea of our proposed application. What is our input, or what are the inputs? What is our expected output or outputs? What is the machine learning model that fits to our application? Study related examples, watch video tutorials, find tools necessary for the project, and so on. So this webinar, Mediapipe, machine learning using Mediapipe. Mediapipe is just one tool. It's just one Python package. Now, there are other packages in Python that we can use for machine learning. So we have those words such as TensorFlow, deep neural networks, convolutional neural networks. That is for the image-related machine learning topics. Okay, machine learning is an active area of research. I hope those who work with that topic area in machine learning, I hope that we will be able to produce a research paper for publication, considering that it is an active research area, research paper for publication or for presentation to an international conference. I hope we can do it. No? So we don't expect everyone in this webinar to understand everything, but we hope you have learned something, not just maybe a lot from this webinar that can help you dig more about the topic for your possible capstone project research area. So our webinar has now come to an end. Again, thank you, everyone. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you, ma'am. And that's all for today's webinar series. And before we end, guys, we would like to encourage everyone to turn on your camera for our documentation.
Don't forget to use our official virtual background for this webinar.
So, passcode is in the top of us here dito, guys. Ito. Hindi, sa kabila. Ito, yan.
Doon,
yan, dyan. Passcode yan dyan.
Yes. Yan yung code natin. Magamit na sa sign-out forms natin, ma'am.
Yes. Yan. So, sign-out forms, guys, is nasa chat box na. And a big shout out ulit sa ating mga participants, no? Especially schools coming from Cebu, Manila, Batangas, Laguna, Negros Oriental, Ilocos, and other parts of the country. And aside from them, we also like to thank, syempre, mga from Mindanao State University.
Yes, our fellow students.
Yes, thank you very much, guys and girls, for attending our webinar series for today.
Kung may pa-shoutout po kayo, just don't hesitate to
comment na tayo, guys. And mag-open cam na kayo, guys. And you can also use the virtual background na pre-provide kanina
ng ating
facilitators. So, okay na ba, facilitators? So, ready na? 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, so for page number 2.
Keep smiling.
Hindi natin alam kung saan tayo. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile.
So for page number 3.
For page number 3. 1, 2, 3, smile.
For page number 4.
For page number 4. 1, 2, 3, smile.
So page number 5.
Page number 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile.
Mataas-taas na po ito. Meron po tayo kasi 300 plus na participants.
Yes, for page number 6. Smile. Next page. Page number 7. Smile. Page number 8.
Page 9.
Page 9. Ngiti po tayo lahat.
Nakita po yung bilang.
Page 10. Okay. Mabot tayo ng page 10, ha? Page 11. Okay, page 11. Smile daw, guys. So, wala silang camera daw, pero okay pa rin yan. Smile pa rin po tayo. Page 12. Ang dami na. Kasi meron tayong 306 participants.
Page 13.
Page 13. Oh, and that's the last. So, thank you very much, everyone, for attending our webinars. And thank you din sa mga nag-participate sa ating Q&A portion kanina and also for our documentation.
Thank you po.
Kanina lang. Computers are able to see, hear, and learn. Welcome to the future. Thank you all for participating in this webinar. Once again, I am 𝐺 𝐬𝐺.
And I am 𝐺 Thank you for participating in this webinar. Pakals signing out. Bye-bye. Yung GCash po, i-PM nyo sa, i-PM nyo po kay Reham.
Yung kay AAA facility.